Welcome to the Watering Hole. We're sitting down today with Mr. Colby Acuff. How you doing?
How we doing, everybody? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Of course.
Off the bat, I have to admire the shirt you have on. The cowboy kitties are awesome.
Yeah, no, they're kind of they definitely got me with some brand marketing. I can't lie. Yeah, I got about 15 of these bad boys.
That's nice. Is there like a specific brand it is, or?
No, it's just like generic Instagram ad
nice.
T-shirt. But yeah, I mean, I got one of them, and I wore it to a show, and people seemed to like it, and so it was like a green light for me to dress like a complete degenerate. So I was like, sure.
A good Temu find, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. Wish.com.
Have you ever ordered anything from Wish.com?
No.
So I ordered something one time, I build guitars, like electric guitars, and I ordered these rivets. Somebody wanted like rivets on their guitar, and the only place I could find them was on Wish.com.
Oh boy.
And I ordered them, and it was like 6 weeks later, and something that looked sort of like what I ordered showed up. And I'm like, what? I forgot I even ordered it.
Made out of tinfoil and rubber bands.
Like, this is just a box of nails. What is it?
Yeah, exactly. So you're playing out here at Born and Raised. We're really excited to be born. It's our first episode at Born and Raised for those watching. So is this your first time playing at this festival?
Correct. Yeah.
What's it like to be out here in Pryor, Oklahoma today?
I love it. No, I mean I've wanted to be on this festival for a long time. I'm a boy from Idaho, so it's only a few festivals out that way, and a few of these festivals down here is something that I always thought we'd really fit into super well, and this one was high on my priority list. So I'm just happy we get to be a part of it.
Awesome. So where from Idaho, where in Idaho are you from originally?
My hometown is actually a spot called Coeur d'Alene, but no one knows where that is. So the easiest way to explain it, or no one knows how to spell it either. It took me until I was I'm 27, probably 26, I could start spelling it.
Yeah.
But basically I'm from like 2 hours south of the Canadian border, so in the panhandle of Idaho. So
wow, that's crazy.
Far away.
Yeah.
Does Gordy or is it Gordy's?
Yeah, he runs Highway 30.
Yeah, they get out that direction, don't they?
Yeah. So we played Highway 30 this year.
Okay.
But like to drive from Filer, Idaho to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho is like 9 hours.
That's crazy. I've always heard especially like Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, like they may be like 30 miles apart, but you might have to go like around a mountain, so it might take you.
Yeah, you can't drive as a crow flies.
Yeah.
You gotta drive. It could be 10 miles. It could take you 2 hours.
Wow.
You got to go over a mountain pass or something.
That's crazy.
So.
Yeah, I mean we're from Oklahoma, so I mean you can cross the state in what, like 6-7 hours?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I definitely know. We've driven through Oklahoma a lot.
Yeah.
We played Oklahoma. It's great, man. I love it here.
So coming from Idaho, I feel like your sound and everything really fits well into this kind of red dirt Texas country music scene. So what's the scene like in Idaho compared to down here?
Well, I mean, Texas, like red dirt music is very celebrated in Idaho.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Reckless Kelly, the Braun brothers, they're all from there, so I think that kind of brought it in.
Yeah.
But like growing up, I was listening to Turnpike a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of definitely, there's a lot of people who like only listen to radio up there, but there's also a huge demographic for, the good shit.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. That actually leads me into one of my other questions I had for you today. So you've got a song, Dear Country Music.
Mm-hmm.
I gave a listen to it, and my main question was, you have a line, it's not about the music, it's about the spotlight.
Yeah.
So can you kind of delve into that line for me about like the current landscape of where country music is at today and where it has been in the past 100 years?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with anybody who makes it. It's so hard to make a penny in this industry already. Like whoever, more power to you if you get to the point where you're touring and making money and stuff. My problem comes with once you make it, what are you going to do with it? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? What spotlight are you going to put on people? Who are you going to bring on the road with you? Who are you going to show off? What do you listen to? What do you like? And I think that's kind of the stuff where I wrote that song when I was 22 or 23 years old, and I was pretty jaded against the entire planet, and I was full of piss and vinegar, and but I still think to this day that, in the Colby Acuff camp, nothing is given, everything is earned. Just to get out of the state of Idaho almost killed me. Yeah. And now we're on the road 200 days out of the year.
Yeah.
But I love what I do, and I'm happy I get to do it. And I think, for us, it's always been like, what's with this kid from Idaho? No one wanted to touch us with a 20-foot pole for a long time.
Yeah.
And every time we get an opportunity, you know, it seems like we get invited back. It seems like we do a good job, and we do our best to, you know, try to earn that respect and come back and do it again.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So who are some of your favorite acts that you've got to go out on the road with? Because you've been out with some bigger artists.
Yeah.
And what's that been like, and who are some of your favorites?
I got to be honest, everybody, for the most part, that we've been out with has been absolutely amazing. That 13-show run we just did with Luke Combs was phenomenal. Luke's camp, Luke himself, his band, all those guys, and really everybody on that tour was so nice to us. And they didn't owe us anything. Especially because we played on Saturday. We're the only guys that weren't radio on that whole day. And everyone came and watched our shows. They were friends with it. Like, they would invite us to dinner with them. They would hang out with us. We'd go to the after parties together. Everybody was so kind and so nice. And that's, once again, like, coming back to, it's not about the music. It's about what are you going to do with it? Okay, people like your music. You got #1 on radio. Great. What are you going to do with it now? What are you going to do with that? You're going to go out on the road and play amphitheaters and arenas? Who are you taking with you? Who are you going to show it to? How are you going to treat them? That's the kind of stuff now, I think, later on in my career that, one, I've really learned a lot from those guys, and two, I think it's something that I think it's more important now, you know?
Yeah.
Having a friend on the road is really important.
Yeah.
But Flatland Cavalry has been an amazing band to tour with. We've been out with them, I opened for them for the very first time. I was local support in Spokane, Washington. And they kind of fed our name into the ether, and
that's awesome.
Kind of got us picked up. So love Flatland. 49 Winchester, great friends with them. That was the very first tour I ever went on for a national tour, was with 49. We were playing 300 to 700 cap clubs through Appalachia. Just did a couple shows with Wyatt Flores, Charles Wesley Godwin. I mean, all the guys and gals that we've been out with have been incredible. Lainey Wilson's phenomenal. I mean, there's just, you know, the ones that treat you poorly are the few that stick out.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're not going to be name dropping here and stuff, but those are the ones that stick out to me. Everyone else has been phenomenal.
Right.
Hot take: Colby Acuff exposes the entire country music scene.
It's funny you say Flatland, because we had them in May at Calf Fry, and we haven't put that episode out yet, but they blew us away with how kind they were.
Yeah, we had some of the kindest people.
We had Jason Cleto on, and I mean, they were just super kind. After we were done, they were, you know, we sat around and talked off camera, and it was just, I was blown away by how nice they were.
Yeah.
When I very first opened for them, they watched our entire set. Wow. And I come backstage, and we were once again local sport. I opened 30 minutes from my hometown, you know, and we got the gig the day prior. I'd put in for it 6 months before, and the venue called me the day before. And they're like, "Hey, do you want to take this Flatland show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, because all the guys we were strewn through the state of Idaho.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody lived in Coeur d'Alene." Yeah. I'm like, "What's the pay?" Like $200. I'm like, all right, let me make a phone call. So I call the guys in the band, and I'm like, "Hey guys, got this great show open for Flatland tomorrow night though, and pays great. Everyone gets $200." And they're like, "Really?" "Yeah." So, you know, everyone comes up and plays the show. I ate $1,200 on that gig.
Oh my God.
But it was the gig. I mean, that was the gig that got us the connection, because Cleto was super kind, and he was like, "Man, we got to tell you guys about it." And their day-to-day was actually selling merch for them, who worked for the management company that now I'm with.
Yeah.
So it definitely was my foot in the door to get a phone call.
Did you meet Roy Johnson?
Oh yeah.
Yes. That look.
I know.
Coyote himself.
I know Roy, dude. I know Roy real well. Yeah. Love that guy, man.
We got so lucky because the show that we talked to him at Calf Fry, I think it was his second to last show with Flatland on the road. And so we got to meet Roy, got to hear the legend of Coyote himself.
Oh, dude, Roy's awesome. A man. We did that tour with them. Well, so last year we did May with them, and then this year we did February through March with them. And basically we were kind of there when Roy had announced that he was going to take a step back. But he's now their day-to-day manager, so he's still in the system big time. And we got shows coming up with them actually next week. We're going to do Georgia and Mississippi with them.
Cool.
And so it'll be good to be back with those boys.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
So you've played, you mentioned earlier Luke Combs, so you've played the stadiums. I mean, if you could take away the money aspect or the popularity aspect and just look at how do you feel when you're playing a stadium versus playing an intimate room, maybe which one of those do you prefer?
Well, I mean, I think anybody who, two things. One, this is not a slant, but if you're playing live music, you don't want to play in a stadium. Anybody out there playing live music, no tracks, no nothing, it's real. Mm-hmm. Stadiums are just harder. And like Luke and his whole thing, they all play live. There's no tracks, there's no anything. They fill out the band, and it's 100% live, the whole thing. You don't always get that, especially in arena and stadium shows, So a lot of respect for Luke and his boys for, putting that on. I mean, even their light shows live. They got a guy back there doing lights, really? It's anything can happen. And but in my mind, Luke would love to go play a 5,000 cap club. But he can sell 100,000 tickets in a weekend in any city he throws a dart on the map to.
Yeah.
It's not everybody can go sell 100,000 tickets in Antarctica every weekend. So I feel like for anybody that does it,
yeah.
I don't know what that is. I wish we could show
me.
the camera.
That's me every Friday. But no, I think anybody, in my mind, that 5,000 cap big club is like the max. And like right now, I wouldn't trade a headlining show. Even a 500 cap club, we just sold out a couple shows in Montana, 500 cap, 600 cap clubs. Man, I wouldn't trade that headlining show, sometimes for an opening slot. Yeah. Was I extremely grateful and had the time of my life on the stadium tour? Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. Mm-hmm. But there's something about playing your own show in a small, intimate room. And we were a live band first. We were a bar band. I mean, we were 3-hour sets, your favorite George Jones to Sturgill Simpson songs for 3 or 4 hours. That was us. That's how we started, and we still love it,
Yeah, that's awesome. So I was going to say real quick, so on that Dear Country Music song, you say, I think we should all just sit down and listen to a Hank song. So obviously you get to open today for Hank Williams Jr. What's it like to be able to play and hear Hank Williams Jr. today and open for him?
We actually had the pleasure of opening for him as well last year at Under the Big Sky.
That's awesome.
But last year Under the Big Sky, we were the first act on the stage.
Is that in Montana?
Yeah, and actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we did not. We actually, Zach Bryan headlined our day. Uh-huh. Hank was the night before, so I got to go see him play, is what I should say.
Yeah.
And, I mean, in his own words, he's an icon.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you want to say?
That's hilarious.
Is there a song that you've put out that has been like extra special to you? Like, is there one out there that just means a little more than some of the others?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like for us, we run things a little differently, I mean, my first 3 years I was putting out music, I was still a bar band. Like, I'd go record a record with me and my bass player and a producer who's now my steel player, and we just put it out, and I go back to the same old, go playing shithole dive bars for 3.5 hours, people yelling at me and asking me if I know Tennessee whiskey. I mean, that was my life. I didn't get a phone call until I had like 30 million streams, got a call from Nashville. I'm like, shit,
wow,
finally.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, once again, no one wanted to take a chance on the kid, and I understand. But, so... Yeah, I got 66 songs out right now with my new record I just released it's almost been a month, 3 weeks ago. But the couple songs that come to mind that I really enjoy, songs that like kind of got me through tough times, there's a song called Tip Jar on If I Were the Devil, which I wrote about just literally having no idea where my future was going and just like, oh God, holding on to the reins as tight as I could. I love that Dear Country Music song. Yeah. There's a song on Western White Pines called Through My Window Pane that I really like. It's just about kind of just being the person that you can be, not trying to, overachieve too much because you can only do as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So it's more songs like that, like the really reflective songs that, sometimes people really latch onto them, but they are not like A1, smashes for me or anything. Yeah. But that being said, man, like, playing Dying Breed, If I Were the Devil, and When I See You Again, and Western White Pines, and American Sun, and playing all those songs every night, those don't get old either.
Yeah.
So I love them.
So I've got to be honest, like we've been doing the podcast for like 2 years now, and we're both avid Red Dirt Texas country music fans, and there's a bunch of fantastic artists and songwriters in this scene. I'm sure you know that as well. But I've got to be honest, you're one of my favorite like songwriters that I've heard.
Thank you.
And I've been able to check out because like I was just like going through your catalog yesterday, and you're very good at telling stories.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Like Cherokee Rose, I mean, that hit me in my heart. And then I was telling him, I was like, this is a great song. Like, it's a fantastic song. So, and then like Vietnam, like that's another great story song. Are there stories behind the story songs?
Sometimes. You know, I write a lot of stuff based on like my own personal experience. But then like Cherokee Rose was like an idea that a buddy kind of called me, and he's like, hey man, I think this is an idea. And he had the song title. And he's like, man, he's from North Georgia.
Yeah.
He's like, I just think this would be great. And I was like, man, I mean, I totally agree. But that took a little bit of me like having to work up a story in my head.
Wow.
Of like, well, let's tell because originally it was supposed to be like a love song.
Yeah.
Which it is, still a love song. But I was like, let's make it sad. And like, but that'll make it real. It'll make it a true love song versus just like, oh, I love you so much and you cut off jeans. And, you know, it's like, no, dude, let's tell a lifetime story, and it'll be generational, and then that'll like carry on. And it, you know, there's a lot of words. It's not a short song. Yeah. You got to stick around for the punchline, but I think that's what makes it worth it. You know, it's, and that's kind of, I'm not good. I'm good at telling stories, and I'm good at looking at a 30,000 foot view and telling everybody what I see. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like, I don't write good, like, corny songs, or like, I don't write bangers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I
some people would say, like, I'm not going to be writing #1 radio hit anytime soon. People who are good at that are like Jamie Johnson. Jamie Johnson can write whatever and then turn around and write a song for his record that, you know, and that is being a versatile songwriter. Yeah. I'm just kind of doing my thing, I guess.
I wouldn't discount yourself, though. I mean, I feel like a lot of your songs have really good hooks and stuff. I mean, If I Were the Devil, I mean, I know that's your biggest song, obviously, but I mean, it's a fantastic song.
Thank you, man.
It hits home with everybody, especially in today's political climate.
The song itself did a lot. I remember when I wrote it, I was like, man, I'm never releasing this. It's just way too hectic, you know? I mean, I wrote it during COVID. Yeah. And I played it at a writer's round that I hosted in my hometown. And everyone just went crazy. Wow. And the guy next to me was like, you got to release that song. I'm like, I guess I will. And the next year we released it, and the rest is history, you know?
Wow. That's
carried
crazy.
out for us pretty well.
Yeah.
Good tune. But thanks, man. Yeah, I think I never wanted to be anything more than a bar band guy that wrote songs, you know?
Yeah. Keep going. I'm going to swap that out.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. So like I said, I wouldn't discount yourself about, you're very versatile. So you you have those kind of like upbeat songs that, like Dying Breed and songs like that. But you also have the really hard hitters like Cherokee Rose and like Vietnam. Also, was there a song behind, not a song, a story behind the song Vietnam?
Yeah. So that one is more or less, my dad was a little bit older, and that was his generation. And I just wanted to write a song kind of to commemorate the Vietnam era. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like, because especially, you know, when they got home, they didn't get any love at all.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, they got like spit on and shit. Yeah. And they had a really tough just life after that. The VA was never good for them. Yeah. It just seemed like there was a lot of problems with it. So I really wanted to pay attention to that. So I wrote the song when I was in high school. I was probably like 17 or so. And a lot of guys from my hometown served in Afghanistan, Iraq, Middle East thing, and a lot of them unfortunately didn't come home. Yeah. And so I actually went to go play a memorial, and I played Vietnam at the memorial. And when I got done, this guy walks up to me, older gentleman, Vietnam vet, wearing a Vietnam hat. He's just in tears. I'm like, what's up? You know, I'm sorry, like, did I do something wrong? And he's like, no, that's literally the story of my brother. Because when I was a kid, I didn't go to Vietnam, but my brother did. And when he unfortunately didn't make it home, and they sent him back, and all I had was a notebook, and all he had was a Bible and a hand grenade.
Wow.
And I was like, damn.
Wow.
But
that's crazy.
The thing about songwriting, me and my producer say it all the time, it's like if you told me to write a song right now, probably nothing would come out. Yeah. But there's like a certain thing that happens. I call it spotlight of the universe. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happens, man. Sometimes it just, you get hit with a a beam of genius, and you're like, all right, well, here we go. And you just can't stop writing them. And I'll write 20, 30 songs in a month and a half, just every day. Wow. And that'll be the record. But I maybe write 2 or 3 months out of the year, and I write 40 or 50 songs a year. Wow. Enough to do a record every year,
wow.
But it's definitely interesting how that works.
Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up in the next few months? This could be a little bit before it comes out. Do you have anything coming out that you want to, shows coming up or music or anything like that?
We got plenty of shows. I mean, we're going out with Whiskey Myers in the fall. We got a couple Midland dates, a few headlining shows sprinkled in there. We got our very first headline Nashville debut thing at the Exit Inn November 2nd. Our last show of the year, we're going to be on a run with Flatland, and that'll end in Philly. My new record is out. It's been out for about a month. American Sun, check it out. And then I do have another thing coming out in October. I don't know when this comes out, but I haven't announced anything, so I'll just tell you guys first.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier.
Awesome.
I did a little R vinyl session.
Oh,
so,
really? That's awesome.
Yeah, we did 4 songs. One of them is completely unreleased, so it's just like a song that I had in the bank that I decided to do. And then we did some older stuff. We did like Life of Rolling Stone off my very first record. We did When I See You Again. And then we also did, I did an acoustic finger-picked version of If I Were the Devil.
Wow.
So we got those 4 coming out with our vinyl. I'm super excited for those.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Little revamp on some of the old stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really awesome.
You're on all social medias. You're on TikTok, all that stuff?
Yeah, you just look me up, Colby Acuff. I'll be there just smiling my ginger ass off.
Perfect. Well, we're super excited to watch you tonight, and we're really looking forward to. Nice. We're really looking forward to seeing you down the road as well.
Yeah, dude, it'll be great. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.